and welcome. This is Cetriya, C-E-T-R-I-Y-A, and today I'm going to actually do a marker review. So today I'm going to go ahead and test out these new markers. I've been trying to hold off on testing them out. I had them for a few days, but Inktober is going about right now. So I figured, you know what? I really want to test these out and I want to share it with you guys. So the brand that I got, apparently it's called Shuttle Art alcohol marker. I know the other brand that's pretty popular is the Ohuhu or Ohoho or whatnot. I believe these are roughly, they look the same. Who knows? It's probably the same company. You know how those makers are. It is a pack of 50 and it does come in like this zipper case and whatnot. So this is very much my first time trying them out. I have tried the black marker for the whole Inktober thing, and I just tested out a gray marker to see if it will work on this paper. So other than that, you guys will see me working on this for the first time. These are supposed to relatively be a replacement to Copic markers, but most of these cheaper markers do not have the brush tip for the markers. Personally, because really I cannot afford Copics, I only buy maybe once, a few of them once in a while for specific shades of colors, but personally I don't use Copic markers. To show you the kind of markers that I used prior, these are pretty old markers right now, but it's called the Letraset markers, made in England, and at that time Blick had them pretty cheap, but these also don't have the brush tip, so I'm already used to coloring with the large broad tip. I do like these brand markers because they really blend out, and there's been a couple of people who comment on my artwork saying that they look like watercolor illustrations. So I really do like them, and these are years old, and unless you pretty much use the same colors over and over and over and over and over again, such as my more pastel skin tone colors, because I use those for base blending instead of getting a blender marker, they last. This still has a lot of juicy ink. At the time they were cheaper, these Tria Letraset, I don't think they're cheaper anymore, and plus I think less and less people are buying them, so the price has gone up, and of course the cost of the euros has gone up. But if you do find maybe they're going out on sale or whatnot, I definitely recommend getting the Letraset. And also a little trivia, one day I forgot which of the Batman movies I was watching, but I know the butler was one day was drawing on something and he was using this Tria Letraset brand marker. So yay. Alright, so what I'm going to actually do, move these on the side here, is kind of sort of test out some of the colors and then color in my illustration for my webcomic called Cross Star. It's a science fiction adventure, but the point is I needed like a new chapter art, and I figured why not go ahead and do it with marker. For inking, I guess I might as well cover that real quick. For inking, I also got these new set of pens. They're called Superior brand. I think it's another one of those kind of weird off brands, but I just tested them right now for this illustration and another illustration ahead of it that I did for Inktober just a few minutes ago, and so far I like the feel of the inks, and I tested it out with the gray marker and it seems that these inks hold pretty well. Something else to consider in case you're very new to marker illustration is that it is very imperative of what paper you use. Printer paper will not hold the marker correctly and it will not blend. Just to make it nice and cheap and basic, go ahead and just get yourself a stock of cardstock paper. So it's like smooth printer paper, but it's the thick one, so there's enough paper that the ink can soak into. Right now I'm just using one of those fancy sketchbook that you find in those discount stores like a Ross or what else? A Burlington, those places that just have random one-off things. TJ Maxx and Marshalls, you go to their stationery section, and this is a pretty thick and smooth paper, and I only recently found out that this was pretty good for using artwork. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick time lapse, and intermittently I'm gonna stop and comment on how I feel about the markers, but this is just for you guys to see how these markers work. So already I can see that the main issue of this marker will probably be the limitation of shades. You can layer the markers down to get a darker shades, but there aren't enough variations between the shades of the colors for you to have nice blending going on top of the fact that these cap colors do not match necessarily what the tips are. And I'll go ahead and give you a quick short of what I mean by that. So this here marker, this is the colors that is showing on here, which is for the most part relatively accurate. This one wasn't too much of an issue. I feel for most markers they do dry up a little bit lighter, but this here wasn't too bad. This, however, it's like a kind of a corn blue color, but once I lay it down, it's a deeper blue. And if you look at the tips, this is the cap of the marker. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is darker and then this is the cap of the marker. As the marker dries though, it gets closer, but still the tip of the actual marker is much darker than the cap of the marker, and the cap of the marker is a shade or two lighter than what's put down on the sheet of paper. So I feel as though you would have to constantly testing. Something else that I noticed while I was working on this was because the caps are indistinguishable, I had to constantly turn it or constantly just pull out the cap to see which tip was the one that I wanted. So here this says this is blue gray, a type of cool gray. And again, the cap is closer towards the actual marker color, but look at the marker itself. I haven't had that issue with the Letrasets nor with the Copics, but that was just something I thought I'd show you. And again, this is pretty dark in comparison. It's and this is much more saturated than the cap color. So there's things like that. And in these shades, this is pretty much the shades of, not blue per se, but these are the light shades of blue. That's it. After that, every other shade you go either goes more towards a darker gray or warm gray or darker blue. There is no in-between shades. And I don't know if these lower cost marker companies have more colors, but I am sure they probably will mix pretty well with your other markers. I'll probably test that in another video, but I would suggest if you're starting out or if you just need something to fill in your marker collection, and then as you go you'll add more of the more expensive brands, then it's called Shuttle Art 50 brand. I believe it was $20 on Amazon for 50 markers, and I know the other brand is Ohuhu, and there's another brand that's going for like $18 for 50 markers. So definitely give it a test out. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and complete this illustration using my Letraset markers. So overall closing thoughts, I say that the markers do actually blend pretty well with my other markers, but I do distinctively notice that the Letraset brand, which is a higher quality marker, it is one of those at the $4 or $5 range of markers. At the time that I bought them, they were about $2 to $3, but they're more expensive now. And I would say that, again, these markers are good for beginner level. However, I would definitely say after a while, you definitely want to level up to the better markers. Just slowly switch in the colors. Also, again, the color range, even though it's 50 markers, there's very limited color range. Definitely in the purples, there's like 2 or 3 purples. After that, it's really dark colors. But I have to say the ink lays down really well. So if you want to try them out, hey, they're only 20 bucks. So go ahead and take a look. I'll leave a link down below. They're not affiliated links, but I mean, we all shop at Amazon. And if you guys have any other questions or suggestions for next video, leave them down below and I will see you next time.